Daredevil Born Again just had its finale, and the show was unfortunately very unsatisfying. To me, at least, the show was very disappointing. You could definitely feel the rewrites and how it has affected the story and overall just plot of the show. I mean, it was all over the place with what they wanted to do. So let's just break it down piece by piece, starting off with Mayor Fisk. I don't know if it's just me, but he is not a convincing mayor at all, or even like a convincing political figure. Especially in the state of New York that has been saved by the Avengers multiple times, and the whole world has been saved by the Avengers multiple times. Fisk would never get away with half the stuff he has been saying or doing. And again, this being in New York City, it makes it way more unbelievable in universe that he would get away with this whole anti-vigilante stuff. Especially with Hawkeye being a vigilante, technically. Spider-Man being a vigilante. Hell, even Strange could probably pass as a vigilante. And that's the problem with this show, is that there's no discussions in the show about what a vigilante is and what they do. Instead, it's just vigilante bad, vigilante not good. We need to stop vigilantes without actually having conversations about what a vigilante is or does. Because again, someone that's pro-vigilante could argue that the Avengers are vigilantes. And it's just one of the many dialogues in the show that just goes completely ignored, and instead it's just vigilante bad, we're not going to further explain it, and just deal with it. And aside from the whole anti-vigilante stuff with Fisk, this man literally had the entire FBI corrupted. And you think the US government's just going to let that slide? And their explanation was terrible, that it was just led up to some FBI scandal. Do we even know how Fisk got out? I remember I watched Daredevil, I watched Echo, I watched Hawkeye. Do we know how Fisk actually got out of prison? As I am genuinely curious. I think FBI scandal was the only thing that was said about Fisk getting out of prison. They had such a missed opportunity too by using the blip as an excuse as to how Fisk got out. How all blip victim, if you got blipped away and you came back, that you're just given a second chance automatically. And that could have shown Matt that the system still doesn't work, because of the law passed, Fisk was able to get out on a technicality when he should have been locked up for life, and many other people in that for that matter. But again, the blip is just ignored. These people were blipped away 3 years ago. Daredevil takes place in 2027. The blip happened in 2024, or when everybody came back was 2024. So they're still dealing with all the ramifications. I mean, imagine if you own a house, you get blipped away, and then you come back 5 years later and there's a whole new family in it. Who gets the house? That's the kind of lawyer stuff that Matt should be dealing with on the side, not just someone stealing a bag of caramel corn and getting arrested. Half the population just disappears and reappears. There's going to be so many legal ramifications, yet this just goes completely ignored in the MCU. I understand the other projects and everything, but in a lawyer show, this should be like number one, especially in New York City. The MCU in general just had such a good opportunity for the blip to have so many interesting shows or takes on it, and it just goes ignored, and it is so frustrating. Like, imagine if we had a show that just followed like a simple family, and the dad gets blipped away, so then the wife has to move on, remarries, finds someone else. The dad had a really good paying job. He comes back, loses his job, loses his family, loses his house, and it's not even his fault. Anyway, I digress. The show just had a hard time having a message. Like, it wanted to say something, but it never did, and it never could. Like, all of these corrupt cops, they're just straight up bad people. Like, they have no redeeming factors. Like, there's nothing convincing that they could even pass as everyday cops. Like, they're just Fiskagoons. That's like all they could, that's what they seem to be. Even before Fisk was involved in their lives. And the whole idea of the anti-vigilante task force is so stupid, because all it takes is them knocking on the door of someone that's just like super powered, sticking to street level, and they just get wiped from existence. We had Muse too. He was a character. He lasted for about a few minutes and then died. So there was that, all that excitement building up to absolutely nothing. You had Matt's whole supporting cast replaced, and they are absolutely boring and do not live up to the originals that they were meant to replace at all. You have Heather. She's a character in the show. Not a very good one, but she is definitely a character. Honestly, the original writing team is the problem I have with Marvel TV shows, is that they try to do their own thing, or no, they don't try to do their own thing. They try to stick to a formula that they have created, and the formula does not work at all in any of the shows. I mean, Daredevil suited up for like, what, 5 minutes in the first like 7 episodes? That is ridiculous. If it wasn't for the first episode, we would have seen Daredevil suited up more in the first 5 episodes of She-Hulk than he was in the first 5 episodes of his own show. And with them trying to recast Vanessa, them getting rid of his whole supporting cast, killing Foggy and Kieran off screen, it's like they wanted to do their whole thing, completely ignore the Netflix universe, and it would have been a complete mess. I'm glad these writers came in and tried to salvage whatever they could, and it looks like season 2 is going to be promising, but it's just so disappointing. And the new writers are still not the greatest right now. They still have saved They saved the season, but they still have their own downfalls. Like the finale of the show, I have a real problem with. Like the whole state or whole city of New York is just in chaos, and none of the superpower beings can even be bothered to like show up or help out. With no mention of Spider-Man either. And it doesn't even have to be directly saying, oh, Spider-Man is here, blah, blah, blah. It could have just been, someone's whipping us up. He's looking dressed like a spider. Oh, the spider's here. And then that would have satisfied people so much, just knowing that Spider-Man was out there and not necessarily showing him. Also, just where is everybody? Where is Wong? Where is Hawkeye? Where is Kate Bishop? I mean, they just took Kate Bishop's parental figure, Swordsman, and she's just chilling. So my problem with it being set in New York City, I understand that the comic is set in New York City too and everything, but it's just more unrealistic when it's a connected universe like this and you're seeing what's happening in live action rather than a comic book. Because in New York City, you have almost every superpowered being is based off in New York City. So it's really just unrealistic that Fisk would get away with this, that the finale happened the way it did, and that Fisk is allowed to put in martial law. And the U.S. government doesn't suspect a thing. I mean, realistically, this should be on Captain America's radar. The guy who corrupted or is involved with a huge FBI corruption just put in martial law for New York City. And then at the end, Matt's just like, oh, we need an army. And he gets like 5 cop and the bartender and Karen. Like, that army's gonna kick ass, dude. Anyways, that's just my thoughts on the whole show. I don't think it was very good. The fight scenes were also not that great either. There was a lot of cuts in the fight scenes. It made me dizzy, that Muse fight. And it just, the action was lacking. And when it was there, it was not good. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment, like, and subscribe. Tell me what I can do to improve this content. Tell me what you thought about the show, and I will see you guys later.